Paralives released a update just the other day. This is version 0.1.7 of Paralives, and they added a lot of quality of life things. So I thought that we would go over them one by one and see what's new. First, take a look at the babies visual update. So as you can see here, the before version of the babies were very uncanny valley with extremely round heads. Let's see now what the new babies look like. Create para from genetics, and let's create a baby. I think the babies still have a bit to go. This is very nightmare material in my opinion. It does look a lot better than this before shot, but those eyes are just... the eyes are quite disconcerting, but the face really looks nice. Hopefully they continue to improve upon the babies, but I think this is a good first step. The next thing that they added to the game was the update to intimacy. Previously in the game, it was really difficult. Lots of players were finding it hard to try for a baby or to get intimate. Now you can simply click on your Paris partner, and now we have a romance tab. If you click on that, you can choose to kiss, get intimate, or try for a baby. The way food works has also been changed in the game. After your pair has fixed a group portion to eat, you can hover over the food and it will tell you how many portions are remaining and how long it takes before that food spoils. You can also click on the food and there's a new option, store in fridge. Clicking the store in fridge option has your para pick up the item and store it inside of the refrigerator. If you want to eat later on, you now have the option to see stored items, which will cause your para to walk over to the refrigerator and you get the ability here to take a look at it. And you can see also that putting it in the refrigerator makes the food last a lot longer. You can just click and choose to eat a portion. The next thing we want to take a look at is if you look at the street corners, we actually have street signs now, and each street has its own name. The street that we're currently on is Delistation Street, and the street right here is Souvenir Street. Each house also has its own house number, so here is 212, and our Paris house is 214. They've changed a few things regarding the beds. One of them is that you can now assign a bed to a para, including assign sides to paras. For example, we'll assign this side to Bonito, and we'll assign this side to Sharon. You can also, by clicking on a bed, choose the Get Intimate or Try for a Baby. These, I've noticed, disappear every once in a while. If you notice that the option is not there, try a different para and the options should then be there. Also, with the new assign options, your para folks will now sleep in the bed on the side that they have been assigned, instead of just randomly going to a different bed. When your paras reach friendship level 3 or higher, your para will get the opportunity to ask their friend to move in with them. This has a percentage chance to succeed or fail. For example, right now, we've got a 49% chance. If we click it, we get the spinning wheel and it's a success. We now have an extra household member. The Paralives developers have added new filters to Paramaker, so now you can filter clothes and hairstyles with new optional filters, such as fashion style, outfit type, material, and custom content. The game will filter through the items and show whichever ones match both filters. So if you make custom content, please remember to include these new filter tags in with your CC. We can now make coffee in the base game without needing to add a mod from the Steam Workshop. To drink coffee, just click on your coffee machine, click Make Coffee, and you can choose from a regular coffee, an espresso, or a latte. They range from 2 paradigms up to 5 paradigms per serving. And drinking the coffee will allow your para to ignore your sleep need for 2 hours while draining your need to go to the bathroom. So in other words, drinking a coffee will make you need to pee, but your sleep need is completely ignored. It used to be that you could only give another para a hug if you were romantically involved with them. Now, once you reach friendship level 3 with a para, the friendly option here is available and you can give them a hug. Let's say that you want to invite a para that you've recently met to your home. So now you can just click your para, have them use their phone, choose Call Parafolk, and invite someone to your home. Once you've played your World of Paralives for a while, assuming that you have household and non-household paras aging turned on, you may notice a little bit of difference regarding the lifespans. The Paralives teams have rebalanced lifespans, adding a few more days to the adult stages and trimming everything preteen and below. If you have an elder para who has had a baby, the elder should now be able to live long enough so that their child isn't taken away by social services upon their death. So basically, the average lifespan has gone from 98 days up to 112. All items in your household inventory now have an added item value when you hover over them or select them. Now you know exactly how much an item is worth before you sell it or donate it to a museum. Did you know that there is a new bundle on Steam where you can get Dwarf Romantic and Paralives at a discounted rate? To celebrate this new bundle, the Paralives developers have added Dwarf Romantic as a playable game inside of Paralives. To play the game, just click on your PC, choose Play Video Game, and choose Play Dwarf Romantic. And your para will immediately go to the PC and start playing the game. There are a few new floor ground paints that have been inspired by the different terrain paints that are in the game. So for example, use terrain painting to paint stone tiles onto the ground. By going into your flooring and floor grounds, you can now choose the same brick and use that to paint the floor in your game. There are 6 current ground floor swatches, including grass, a clay dirt, cracked concrete, gravel, sand, and the bricks. When a baby is born, they should no longer spawn on the floor or pavement. Instead, they will spawn in your para's arms. Sort of. The exception to this is if your para gives birth to twins or triplets, in which case one baby will be placed in the parent's arms, the other ones will be on the floor. When visiting restaurants, you may notice that there's a bit of a change in the menu. All restaurants should now have at least one choice for vegetarian paras. Are you trying to find a specific para and you can't find them anywhere? Inside of the settings menu, there's a new option. Click on gameplay and display townies on town map, then scroll out and photos or thumbnails of every single townie in your save will appear on the map, making it super easy to find each one. Another thing that you may find very useful, especially if you do a lot of building, is that terrain paints are now being allowed to go slightly outside of your para's lots. This will allow you to better blend your lot in with the surroundings. It also allows you to connect your lot's terrain paint to right up against the sidewalk, adding just that little bit more of immersion into the game. Going back into the Paramaker, you may have noticed they've added a few new swatches to certain items of clothing in the game. These include this baby doll style top that has this new green checkered swatch, the tied top, and now it comes in a cow pattern, the Renaissance fair style top, and now comes in a black and red pattern. The V-neck hippie style top, and now comes in a red with white heart variant. Going into skirts, the what I call a pencil skirt now has a rather trippy black and white pattern added to it. And the pleated skirt now comes in this green and blue checkered pattern. When you have two pairs in a relationship and you're able to break up with one of them, ending that relationship will also end any ongoing conversation and group interaction to give your pairs time to cool off. Para behavior when listening to the radio has also been adjusted. You can now listen to the music or dance to it. And each causes different animations so that you can tell which one each para is doing. If you played your game for quite a while, say like over 70 days, you may have noticed that the speed of time has slowed down gradually and breaks gameplay. This should no longer happen. So if you're going into a game that you're planning on being your forever save or a long-term save, that bug should be fixed for you. The advanced transform tool should be much more reliable now and less prone to breaking the positions of items when you reload the game. If you are one of those builders who have been using the transform tool to change different things or add extra things to your house, and you've had problems with things being sent way up into the air when you reload your save or reload your lot, hopefully the instances of this should be greatly reduced. If you've ever tried to fix some food while someone else has been using the refrigerator, you may have noticed a little problem with the wording when certain items are busy, where it didn't really make much sense. This has been changed to read "item is in use" to offer more clarity so that you know why your para can't get to that item. Do an action for a certain amount of time goals should now progress normally and be completable. This was a huge problem that players were having, so I'm really glad that they've fixed that. When creating babies in the Paramaker, the genetic system should now generate faces that account for that baby's parents in the Paramaker. In addition to this, sliders applied to babies will affect their look into their next life stages. The devs have also fixed a bug relating to the family member labels. The game should properly detect people who are related, and they should no longer have romantic feelings towards family members. So, for example, grandparents, cousins, and uncles. So you may have sometimes noticed when your paras eat, the food isn't always being held correctly by the paras. They have fixed that, so now all food that your paras eat should be held correctly. When specific townie paras who have children are invited to move in with your para, they should no longer leave their children behind. This is a great fix because I don't know about you, but I heard a lot of rumors about Sebastian constantly leaving his kid to fend for himself when he would move in with other people's paras. And speaking of other paras, when a para dies, they should no longer just lie down on the floor for days on end. They should now despawn properly. The tunnel entrance located across from the small beach Some people had reported that they were unable to click on it to go through the tunnel at certain angles. That problem has now been fixed. And as far as I know, that problem should be fixed for all fast travel tunnels. Pairs who are in conversations should no longer carry on those conversations when they go to bed. Parents should instinctually prioritize putting babies in cribs instead of on the ground when they have multiple items queued up that can't be completed with a baby in their arms. You should now be able to feed your toddler that was already sitting in a high chair. There are a few known issues that the developers are currently working on. These include problems with mods on the Steam Workshop. Just remember that mods might eventually stop working as the game is further developed and added to. So if the game updates and you notice that your mods aren't working properly, then that might be the issue. Try unsubscribing from those mods or turning them off in your settings and see if that fixes the issue for you. Another thing that is a known issue is people are noticing that paras might walk through walls when they've finished specific conversations. I've noticed that sometimes my paras will kind of phase into walls during conversations. I haven't noticed them walking through walls after finishing a conversation, but if you have experienced that bug, just be aware that the developers are looking for a fix for it. As always, if you have any problems with your game, or any suggestions for things that you would like to see added into Paralives, then all you have to do is click the thumb up and thumb down button in the game. Doing so will open up a browser window for game feedback. Simply click on what option you want to talk about, add in whatever you want to say about the option, and add any screenshots so that the devs can better understand what you're talking about. If this video was useful for you, and if you like this new style, please hit the like button and leave a comment below. If you've missed any of the previous patch updates, you can find them all in this playlist over here.